City divided no more.
Can you reiterate why you changed your vote?
I am not going to speak on that. I need to speak before.
The future of immigration in Fort Myers decided.
Madam Clerk, roll call vote, please.
Councilperson Murphy.
Yes.
Councilperson Bond.
Yes.
Councilperson Brown.
Yes.
Councilperson Geraldo.
Yes.
Councilperson Watson.
Yes.
Councilperson Boucher.
Yes.
Mayor Anderson.
Yes.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
The unanimous vote causing an uproar. Concern now growing on what this partnership will bring.
Let's be realistic. You stop somebody and they don't speak English and they can't provide documentation, you're going to suspect maybe they're undocumented.
The dust settles after tonight's emergency council meeting, and Fox 4 was there to witness it all.
Thank you for joining us here on Fox 4 News. I'm senior reporter Ryan Kruger. The vote is in on immigration enforcement in Fort Myers. After a marathon meeting, the city council voted yes to working with ICE agents. We have team coverage from tonight's emergency city council meeting. First, senior reporter Caitlin Knapp breaks down how it all happened.
Ryan, some council members admitted there are still questions about the agreement despite voting yes. Now, that yes vote didn't come without one council member calling out the city attorney, claiming he failed them.
Motion carries.
After 3 hours, all council members voted yes on the memorandum of agreement with ICE, which will train some officers to perform immigration enforcement. This was a big flip from Monday, where 3 council members voted no.
Our vote was in concern to this because of the potential violation of the Fourth Amendment and the racial profiling. It wasn't that we are not in agreement of the city of Fort Myers Police Department collaborating with ICE.
After the vote, we spoke with Mayor Kevin Anderson, asking him about concerns of racial profiling being brought up.
This is not a green light to say, okay, go out there and racially profile people. No. Now, let's be realistic. You stop somebody and they don't speak English and they can't provide documentation, you're going to suspect maybe they're undocumented. That's not profiling. They did something to be stopped for to begin with.
In the meeting, the Fort Myers Deputy Police Chief answered council's questions, but some were left up in the air, like what kind of training there will be for officers.
Chances are there's not as many ICE agents as there are Fort Myers police officers. That's why this agreement is so important.
Next to him at times was Fort Myers City Attorney Grant Alley. When asked if the agreement is something council has to approve, he said, quote, "It's very not clear."
I think that you should support the agreement and the cooperation with the...
So that's your advice as our attorney?
Yes.
Minutes before the vote, Councilwoman Darla Bonk, who previously voted no, said she has, quote, grave concern over a, quote, significant dereliction on his part.
The silence Monday night placed each of us in jeopardy. You are paid handsomely to protect this council, and in this matter, you failed us.
So what's next? Well, it's not clear how many officers will be trained or exactly what that training even looks like, but Fox 4 is going to continue to push for those answers. Reporting in Fort Myers, Caitlin Knapp, Fox 4.
The unanimous vote at the emergency Fort Myers City Council meeting left many people disappointed when the council voted to add the new partnership between ICE and FMPD with training and enforcement. I'm your Fort Myers community correspondent Miyoshi Price, and because I work in this area every day, I sat in that room as people watched the vote go on. A few people wanted that agreement to move forward, and others were sad with the outcome.
For every single member to vote yes, it feels like a slap in the face.
Pamela Vasquez was in the meeting with many people she knew and some she didn't, hoping they would get enough no votes to stop the new partnership with FMPD and ICE. The vote was 7-0.
I'm scared about what this means for the immigrants in this community. I'm scared of what it means for people who don't look white enough.
The line to enter City Hall was out the door. The community showed up to have their voice heard. Peaceful protesters stood outside with their signs during the entire meeting, while others filled the council chambers. Cielo Centeno opposed the agreement and called the language too vague.
And I think it is purposely vague to allow little caveats and loopholes for racial profiling, for government overstep. And not only that, if you look in the agreement, we foot the bill. If an officer in this county gets sued for misconduct, we foot the bill.
But folks like Henry Jackson was pleased the vote was in his favor.
They came by their own free will, and they broke the law. You know, grant that they have families here, they've been working, but they're not citizens, and they broke the law.
Moving forward, he suggested how the department should be held accountable.
They should have the body camera to make sure that we treat those people with the utmost respect.
In Fort Myers, Miyoshi Price, Fox 4.
After days of public outcry, the Fort Myers City Council has voted to approve the agreement between ICE and the city's police department. I'm Fort Myers community correspondent Stephen Pimpo. Council members said they had questions about the legal ramifications of this agreement. Some council members said they voted the way they did because that's what their constituents wanted. Other council members did not say why they chose to change their vote.
Well, I can understand their disapproval, but you have to remember, I'm elected by the residents in Ward 5. An overwhelming number of residents in Ward 5 support us working with ICE.
That was Councilmember Fred Burson's response when asked about the disappointment expressed by members of the crowd after the Fort Myers City Council unanimously voted to approve the agreement allowing the Fort Myers Police Department to participate in federal immigration enforcement.
And once I got the advice from the city attorney with that last question that I asked, he said we were on legal ground. I think we had no choice but to do that.
During public comment, many people spoke out in support of council members Darla Bonk, Terilyn Watson, and Diana Geraldo's decision to vote against the agreement Monday.
We want to make sure that we are not violating the Fourth Amendment and that racial profiling cannot occur. It affects me personally because I am an immigrant and I have been in the place where I have been stopped, taken out of my car.
Racial profiling was one of the main issues brought up during public comment. The city attorney told the council that on its face, the agreement does not violate the Fourth Amendment and includes an anti-discrimination clause. Councilmember Watson said she had her questions answered prior to Friday's meeting, while Councilmember Bonk says she did not think the city attorney properly educated the council on the matter. As for Councilmember Geraldo,
can you reiterate why you changed your vote?
I am not going to speak on that.
In Fort Myers, Stephen Pimpo, Fox 4.
The Department of Homeland Security will revoke all legal protections for Cubans, Haitians, Nicaraguans, and Venezuelans in the United States. This applies to over 500,000 people from these countries who entered the U.S. since October of 2022 under the Humanitarian Parole Program. Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem says that they will lose their legal status on April 24th, 30 days after the publication of the notice.
Online, Fox 4 is going in depth on all of the state's immigration news. We have it all compiled together for you, and we dug into the laws and agreements leaders are citing. To get a fair and balanced perspective on all of this, go to fox4now.com and click the Immigration Action section.
Live from Fox 4, this is breaking news.
Welcome to Fox 4. I'm Bonita Springs community correspondent Eric Lovelace, and we are following several breaking stories tonight. We will get to that shooting in rural Pennsylvania here in just a moment, but I want to tell you about a death investigation right here in Bonita Springs. Earlier today, a viewer called me and told me about a heavy police presence in a neighborhood here. And this community, you'll notice, is gated. So I want to show you an aerial view right now. You should be seeing drone video on your screen. Over 10 cars line St. Michael Lane investigating a death at this house that you are seeing now. The sheriff's office said one person has been detained and that this is an isolated incident. And I spoke to a neighbor who says things like this don't happen in this typically quiet neighborhood.
Pretty wild pulling in the neighborhood. I mean, you see it on the news all the time, right? Things like this happening, but never think it's going to happen in your neighborhood.
Again, we're still waiting to hear back from the Lee County Sheriff's Office about this death investigation, but I want to turn your attention to another death investigation, this time up in Cape Coral. And Cape Coral police have confirmed that they are now investigating a homicide, and the suspect, a person of interest, is Devin Johnson, and we can confirm that he was arrested by Collier County deputies on Tuesday, and that was yesterday. Our very own Bella Line has the latest on that story tonight.
A multi-county case all ties back to a homicide investigation in Cape Coral. I'm Cape Coral community correspondent Bella Line. I spoke with the victim's daughter who says she's going to keep fighting for justice for her mom. And the suspect is her brother. On Tuesday, Cape Coral police said they were investigating a death at this home off Jacaranda Parkway in Northwest 45th Place. According to court documents from Collier County, deputies arrested Devin Johnson after they got a call from Cape Coral police about a homicide suspect they were after headed to Collier County. And the report lists his address as the same home Cape Coral police are investigating. I spoke with two people who say their mom, Rosemary Johnson, was killed here. Johnson's daughter saying in part, quote, "The person responsible for this vicious act, I am committed to pursuing the highest form of justice for what has been done. Our freedom is not a gift, it is a responsibility. I will fight for the justice my mother deserves. May she rest in eternal peace."
I would just say that I hope people who see this incident in the news, that they treat their family like gold and very kindly.
According to deputies, Devin Johnson ran from police. Then when they tried to taser him, he wasn't affected. They also say Johnson tried to grab their weapons and choked a canine. And according to a Cape Coral detective who was in the courtroom, they found flight information on Johnson's phone for today.
There was screenshot or photo screenshots in his gallery that showed flight details from a flight to Costa Rica out of Fort Lauderdale that would take place on September 17th, today.
Police have not said who the suspect is at this time, but Johnson is currently charged with fleeing, resisting officers with violence, 2 counts of battery on a law enforcement officer, attempting to take a law enforcement officer's firearm or other weapon, animal cruelty, and driving on a suspended license.
Cape Coral Police have announced that they will be holding a news conference about this case on Thursday, and we will be following that. So when we get any new information, we will be sure to update you both on air and online at fox4now.com. And that's all I have for you out in Bonita Springs, and we want to send it back into the studio with certified meteorologist Katie Walls, and she's tracking rainfall totals and some flooding today. Katie.
Live from Fox 4, this is breaking news.
Fox 4 News, I'm Caitlin Knapp. Let's get right to breaking news of a deputy-involved shooting in Charlotte County. Community correspondent Hunter Walterman is live at the Buena Vista at Deep Creek with more on what happened.
Caitlin, I can tell you this is still a very active investigation. About 10 minutes ago or so, we saw multiple forensics units show up on scene, and sheriff's office vehicles have been coming and going all afternoon and into the night. About an hour or so ago, we heard from Charlotte County Sheriff Bill Promell, who says one of his deputies shot a suspect at least twice today. That's after the deputy responded to a report of a battery, and things escalated from there. Tonight, the suspect in stable condition, recovering at a hospital, and to be very clear, the deputy not shot in this incident. The investigation just getting underway.
Shots fired, shots fired.
Tonight, Charlotte County deputies swarmed this Punta Gorda neighborhood. Charlotte County Sheriff Bill Promell says a deputy shot a suspect here in Deep Creek off Saxony Circle. It happened around 5 p.m. Promell says the deputy responded to a report of a battery, and as the deputy was speaking to the victim,
the suspect approached. Some words were exchanged and a scuffle ensued, and the deputy ended up firing his firearm at least 3 times.
The suspect hit at least twice, according to the sheriff, now in stable condition at a hospital. The deputy also transported to the hospital for heart issues, according to the sheriff. Radio traffic offering a glimpse into what happened just moments before.
Go ahead and send me back up. Subject attack me. Got him at gunpoint right now.
An investigation that stretched into the night. Deputies taping off the road. One neighbor gave us this drone video showing the sprawling scene, these condos backing up to the Deep Creek golf course. Sheriff Bill Promell arriving not long after. Neighbors outside their homes concerned.
My first thought was my son. He's 4 years old.
Jessie Sampson lives just down the street. After picking up her son from school, she returned home to police tape and sirens.
I just asked the cop, are we safe? And that was my main concern.
The sheriff's office says there is no threat to the public and that more information will be released. In the meantime, neighbors tell us they're just trying to move on. Sampson's son still going for his nightly scooter ride.
I don't know. These sign of the times, we're just like getting used to it. It's kind of scary.
The sheriff says investigators have not spoken to either the deputy or the suspect yet. And again, to be clear, the deputy not shot in this incident, now recovering after the sheriff says he experienced some heart issues. The sheriff also saying that, again, this investigation is in the very early stages and that he'll provide more updates once information becomes available. You can check our website, fox4now.com, for all of the latest information. Live in Charlotte County, Hunter Walterman, Fox 4.
Police say 31-year-old Blake Hoover is the man behind the attack on this synagogue in Punta Gorda last Friday, setting fire to a classroom and spray painting the letter J all over the property. I'm Fox 4 Charlotte County community correspondent Alex Orenchuk, and Hoover was in court Tuesday morning, where we learned more about his charges and what led police to him.
Blake Hoover?
Hoover was in court Tuesday morning on a video call from the jail, facing 1 count of arson and 1 count of criminal mischief to a synagogue. Police say Hoover set fire to a classroom at the Chabad of Charlotte County on Friday night and spray painted the letter J around the property just days before Rosh Hashanah. According to court records, Hoover's aunt called police first after speaking with Hoover's mom, who said she suspected he was the one behind the attack after watching the news. Documents say his mother said he left the house the night of the fire with a gas can and spray paint. Then he came back barefoot, later admitting to spray painting the letter J on the synagogue's walls. It also says Hoover had mentioned burning down the synagogue just days before the fire. His mom told detectives that Hoover, quote, has a hatred toward homosexuals and Jewish people that's become worse over the past years. I found Hoover's social media, and on Facebook, he's posted anti-Semitic language as well as conspiracy theories about COVID and 9/11.
Now, when it comes to hate crimes, they don't just target an individual or a structure. They impact an entire community. They're intended to inspire fear.
I spoke with the Anti-Defamation League of Florida, who tells me attacks like this one are part of a disturbing trend.
The most recently released FBI hate crime stats revealed that 70% of all religious hate crimes are anti-Jewish.
But as Hoover sits in jail, the Jewish community here at the synagogue is celebrating while being guarded by security and police. I talked to Rabbi Simon Jacobson after Hoover's arrest, and he couldn't go on camera during the holiday, but told me, quote, it's a tremendous relief for us to know that there are good people who continue to support us. I think it will be a happier Rosh Hashanah knowing the one who was capable of doing this is behind bars. In court, the judge ordered Hoover to be held without bond for the arson charge. In Punta Gorda, Alex Orenchuk, Fox 4.
Now let's get to news happening elsewhere in Florida.
A jury in Fort Pierce found Ryan Ruth guilty on all 5 counts for attempting to assassinate President Donald Trump at his West Palm Beach golf course last year. The jury deliberated for just 2 hours before reaching the verdict this afternoon. Ruth had aimed a rifle through shrubbery at then-candidate Trump as he played golf in September of 2024. A Secret Service agent spotted Ruth first and opened fire, causing Ruth to drop his weapon and flee without ever firing a shot. The 59-year-old North Carolina construction worker represented himself in court. He had pled not guilty to all charges.
Shot. We did see that rain coming down. We do see a couple showers still out there here at this time, and we are looking at those showers right over Cape Coral, Pine Island Road, up towards Burnt Store Marina, and up towards the Punta Gorda area, Port Charlotte, and Arcadia for you at this time. And we do expect these showers to kind of dwindle down here over the next, say, hour or so, and we'll pretty much be done for the rest of the night. In terms of rain chances the rest of the night, speaking of those, you can see them just kind of isolated right now and staying low through the overnight hours. Now, I do expect, though, as you get in towards tomorrow afternoon, we'll be becoming more scattered in terms of those rain chances once again as we head in towards the evening hours. So we'll be tracking those for you for the second half of the day, but it does look like some dry air moving in for the second half of the week. As for temperatures, currently sitting at 73 Arcadia, 74 Palmdale, 77 still here in Fort Myers. We do expect about 75 degrees going to be that bottom out mark for you here tonight, and then getting up in the low 90s tomorrow. And again, those late thunderstorms for you. I'm going to be timing out those rain chances pretty much hour by hour coming up in my full forecast. Plus, we're going to take a look at the tropics. Gabriella is moving out, but we have 2 areas that we're watching a little closer to home. I have details that you need to know as we head towards the weekend coming up.
A man is behind bars accused of ramming 2 sheriff's vehicles and leading deputies from multiple counties on a high-speed chase. Philip McBurney fled from Charlotte County deputies on Monday and headed into DeSoto County. Narcotics detectives from both agencies worked together to track him down. McBurney abandoned his vehicle near Southwest Terrell Street, where deputies say they caught him. He now faces multiple charges, including fleeing police, drug possession, and violating parole. No deputies were injured in the incident. A motorcyclist is dead after a crash with a pickup truck in Cape Coral. This happened Monday evening on Del Prado Boulevard between Pine Island Road and Northeast 10th Terrace. Police say that speed was a factor in the deadly crash. The truck driver was taken to the hospital, but no arrests were made.
After months of negotiations, a deal is on the table for Lee County teachers. I'm your Fort Myers community correspondent, Yoshi Price, breaking down what teachers should expect to get